sail die hard, and a century later, for the last time, old Gloucester rang to the music and bustle of a stout ship refitting for a passage around Cape Horn to California. This is the 85-foot schooner Wanderbird, probably the smallest vessel ever to make the Horn passage. Sails are her only power. She is owned and commanded by Captain Tompkins and manned by a crew of 9, including the captain's family. The ship is rigged like the earliest California-bound vessels from New England. She is a 2-masted schooner. Captain Tompkins turns to a new page in his logbook and writes,
Gloucester. Gloucester toward San Francisco. Our course is southeasterly, along the old clipper track. Work of a different kind occupies the Commodore. In the captain's cabin, he and his sister Anne wrestle with school problems under the patient eyes of their mother, Gwen. Eight bells. Relieve the wheel and look out. A 4-hour watch. The school teacher and her students take over the deck. A schooner is the finest playground imaginable. Thrills and adventure wait one at every step or misstep. In the galley, Harrison concocts his tasty meals. No finer sea cook ever lived. Smart for their years, take to the masthead. Skies, humid air, fickle, shifting wind. The boatswain holds our head to the south as we squeeze past Cape San Roque. The binnacle shelters the steering compass. This is the most important of all navigation instruments. Riding in its gimbals, it remains steady and level despite the ship's motion. Daily before breakfast, I wind and compare my chronometers. They keep the time of Greenwich Meridian, from which we reckon our longitude. Sunny skies alternate with sudden squalls. The cloudburst yields fresh water. All hands pitch in to scoop up the precious drops. It takes 4 days to win through 100 such squalls into the refreshing, reliable southeast trade winds of the southern hemisphere. Rio's jumbled peaks rise from the sea, march by, and are lost astern. Now only the children are carefree, heedless of the test which lies ahead. For the rest, there is work to be done. A stitch in time, in pleasant weather, may say far more than merely 9. 30 days ago, we crossed the equator. Today, we are in latitude 50 south. at grips at last with Cape Horn. From 50 south here in the Atlantic, west around Horn Island to 50 south in the Pacific, this constitutes a rounding of Cape Horn. These are the hardest 1,000 miles in any ocean. Sharks have always been fair game for sailors, young or old. It is November, spring in these grim latitudes, with snow whitening Tierra del Fuego and the thermometer below 40. 6:15, Cape Horn, 10 miles distant. The frightened dawn retreats into darkness. 6:30, a full gale. Scud shrouds the Horn. We'll not see the Cape again. The sea is overpowering. We must heave to. Secure the ship! 60-foot seas lift us and fling us down their faces. In the grip of nature's fury, I run the schooner off before wind and sea. Violent surges fight for the wheel. A man's life hangs on every turn. Up and over, and we ride it out. Heave tight on those gaskets. Break out the storm oil. Oil on troubled waters is no empty idiom for us, but sound sea practice dating from Bible days. It is a miracle 1/1,000,000th of an inch thick. All the menace of these waves is in their tumbling crest, solid water flung by hurricane winds outracing the seas. In these frigid waters, the oil will seep slowly through the canvas. When the sun breaks through, sailors can skylark a bit on deck, steep enough for tobogganing. Gales drove us down to the cold 60th parallel, but happily we sighted no icebergs. Seas, current, and gales hung steady in the northwest. Came 2 days when we made only 24 miles and lost 60 to the night violence of a hurricane. Dawn exposed the terrible coast close aboard, and we ran south again for sea room and our lives. After 20 days and 50 gales, only youth's quenchless vitality could thus mock the Horn's brutality.
Heave-ho, and up she rises!
The average sailing time from the east around Cape Horn to California was 130 days. We are completing the long haul in 120 days. Behind the Golden Gate, a city which has seen the coming of many great ships looks down from its hills at our arrival into the broad green bay.